If you can guess who's been talking to Nemro the Hutt, you owe me a drink.
From your tone, I'd say I'm looking at her.
Bingo. If you don't have a bottle on you, I'll take my prize in cash. Me and the Crime King were wrapping up some old business, long story. But he let slip something interesting. Remember Yajal, my arms dealer come stalker? He's been touching base with a lot of guys I used to work with, Nemro included.
Why were you talking to the Hutt exactly?
Don't get all possessive. Here's the point. Now that Yajal's tipped his hand, some of my other ex-partners, the ones with grudges, they figure they need to hit me before Yajal does. We're talking people who should have moved on years ago. Guess I left a mark.
You have an awful lot of enemies. What exactly did you do?
I'm not gonna make a list, but first example who comes to mind, card shark named Todd Eagle. Not a lot of guts, but he was rich and cute. We lived the high life until I broke his heart. Bet he'll hire some sleazebag to find me.
People don't chase after you for years just because you're a couple.
No, people don't chase after you for years. Me, I'm an addiction.
Cypher 9, come inside. This should be a triumphant moment. It's a tremendous achievement bringing down the Eagle. The crisis has only escalated. The Eradicators could begin firing at any moment.
What's our current status?
Watcher 2, your report.
The Moths have placed local forces on alert, and a search for the Eradicators is underway. Unfortunately, trends suggest we can only find one device every 5 hours. It'll be weeks before we destroy them all.
Disappointing, but not a surprise. Damage projections?
Estimates are 10 to 50 million deaths on each planet targeted. 40% military, 60% civilian.
Even at the low end, that's unacceptable.
Agreed. It sends the message that the Empire is vulnerable.
In order to deactivate the Eradicators en masse, we need the control codes. Half the codes were on the Eagle's computers. We can only surmise that the other half are with the Eagle's patron.
Yes, the patron. A man whom the Eagle claims is inside the Empire.
You sound skeptical.
I have my doubt that this patron is really a highly placed Imperial. It seems unlikely such a person could escape our scrutiny. Nonetheless, we can't ignore the possibility of a traitor. That's why we're meeting privately. Only the people in this room know the full situation.
You sent Watcher 3 to Hutter. He knows too.
An oversight. Watcher 3 has been instructed not to speak to anyone. Finish the report, Watcher 2.
The Eagle had been sending periodic transmissions to someone in the Artus system. Artus is uninhabited, devoid of resources and off the major hyperlanes. Our patron could certainly hide there.
I want you to lead a mission to Artus. You're to find the Eagle's patron and obtain his half of the control codes. Watcher 2 will rendezvous with you there. She knows more about the Eradicators than anyone.
Are you all right with this?
I'll do what's necessary.
Your ships will be outfitted with cloaking devices. They'll only last one jump, but they'll get you into Artus unnoticed. After that, infiltrate whatever base the patron is using. Recover the Eradicator control codes and stop the threat. Watcher 2, you're dismissed.
If you want to talk before the mission, I'll be at my station.
There is one more thing. Darth Zorid heard you were returning to Drummond Cass. She wants to speak to you.
I'm sorry about before, when she tortured you.
You aren't to blame. Zorid is unpredictable. I've done my best to shield intelligence from our new lord. You've been the unfortunate exception. Do what it takes to survive Zorid's attentions a little longer. Beyond that, the Dark Council won't let this continue forever.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that even the Dark Council will police its members if the damage is great enough. When you're through, head to the Artus system. This is our only chance, Cypher. Fail, and we all pay a grievous cost.
Cypher, I'm glad you stopped by. I've been going over the mission parameters, studying the Eradicator control codes, scans of the Artus system. We're facing a mystery, and I hate mysteries.
You should get some rest before we leave.
I don't remember how. Times like this, I wonder if it took much more to push Watcher X over the edge. What about you? What's been going through your head since this countdown to Eradication Day started?
It's hard not to wonder where it all ends sometimes.
It doesn't. Not until your death. The crisis may change, but the job doesn't.
You really think that's true?
Keeper took me aside early on to tell me there's no glory in our work. He's right. In any case, you should get ready. The Eradicators won't wait for either of us.
No time for chat, then.
Even less than usual. Once you take off for the Arta system, I'll be on your tail. We'll meet out there.
Physical trauma includes electrical burns, lacerations, and retinal damage. Transfer to a Colto tank for long-term recovery is strongly recommended.
You suggest a Dark Council member hide in a vat? For healing?
I am programmed to dispense medical advice based on all relevant factors.
Get out! Have yourself disassembled, made into a probe and sent to the most desolate place in the Empire! Look, Agent, they hurt me, and then they laughed. How could they?
Maybe someone felt you needed humbling.
I'm a Dark Lord of the Sith. I'm not meant to be humble. I'm meant to humble the world. After Viorianal broke, I called the Council to assembly. I demanded the Lords give me the respect I was due. Some were angry, mocked me. They tormented me and warned me not to overstep my bounds again.
The Dark Council did this.
They called me an arrogant child, unworthy of my position. It's all Jadis's fault. He was my master, but he never taught me what I needed to know. Now he's dead, and I'm not ready for his council seat.
If you're not fit for the responsibility, you should abdicate.
All my enemies would strike at me then, and all Jadis's too. I know what's happening in Imperial intelligence. I know you're going on a mission, and that the Eagle wasn't the man you thought. Swear that you'll find whoever really killed my father. Swear that the man responsible will pay for forcing me into this wretched life.
My priority is deactivating the Eradicators, not revenge.
You would deny me this. I am still Sith. If Darth Jadis hadn't been murdered, I would never have taken his place on the Council. I would never have been humiliated. His killers are to blame. Swear you'll make them hurt.
I won't do it, Jorid. If I can bring them to justice, I will. But that's all.
Get out! Get out of my sight, now! Crawl out of here, before I decide you're worth burning!
This place is stark. We smell no pheromones, feel no auras. We should be cautious.
Cypher, there's no one to welcome us. Seems our cloaking devices worked.
Good to see you too. How was the flight?
Uneventful, fortunately. I stayed in your wake. This starship is a modified Imperial dreadnought. Maximum crew complement of 5,000. It's also jamming long-range communications, so I can't check its registration or call for reinforcements.
Can we neutralize the jamming field?
Maybe. I'll see if I can locate the signal generator. Nonetheless, top priority is finding the eradicated command codes before the weapons initiate a random firing pattern. This data spike contains our half of the codes. Once you obtain the other half, you should be able to control the eradicators from any computer.
All I want to do is shut those things down.
Fair enough. But they can't be deactivated, targeted, or anything else without both halves of the command codes. I do have one other thing for you. A comlink implant. So long as you're wearing it, I can monitor your situation and speak to you privately.
Is this one-way communication, or can I reply?
Subvocally. Whisper to me and no one else will hear. While you search the interior, I'll try to slice the security systems. We're counting on you. Put an end to this.
It's a grand social experiment. There's probably 100 of us from across the Empire, all saved from the fire. Who knows how or why. For the most part, we're left to ourselves, squabbling and fighting, left to fear our own shadows. But we know the Master's out there, and I'm convinced there's a plan at work. Somebody wants to change us. Someone wants to control us.
The song of the hunter begins.
It's been... I don't know how long it's been. I lose count of the days during the blackouts. The ones furthest along. They say our terror transforms us into the Master's image. Well, I'll tell the Master what's really happening. We're learning to fight back. Do you hear me, Master? We'll kill you for this. We'll kill you.
I was so happy when I got the invitation. Everything was going to change for me. Leave home for a year? Why has the Master picked me to survive when hundreds died? And now the rest of us, one by one. My mother was a slave, but I wasn't, because my father was an officer. I don't want to end up like her. Oh, please, please, someone rescue us.
Something's wrong. Like rot within the hive. There is taint spreading through the Unity.
So, you've arrived at last.
Cypher, I know that voice.
I expected too little of you. You served me well on Hutter and on Dromund Kaas. I should have known you would serve me again.
I thought you died aboard the Dominator.
No. This is what remains of the Dominator and its passengers. This is the world as I have remade it. Once before, you were inoculated by the dark side. I will speak now as I spoke then. Accept the gift of your life, Agent, and we will discuss terror, the Empire, and the Sith.
You talk. I'll listen.
Be careful, Cypher. Please be careful.
I'm trying to analyze the situation, but it'll take time, and if he has the command codes...
It was my desire that the Eagle unite the Terror Cells. It was my desire that my flagship be destroyed. I required a weapon that the Dark Council would overlook. The terrorists became my unknowing servants and carried out my plan.
You sanctioned the murder of Imperials. You faked your own assassination.
Only to achieve something greater. With my false death, I escaped the eyes of the Dark Council and of Imperial intelligence. After the Dominator, I came here, bringing with me those passengers worthy of elevation. I maneuvered my pieces into place.
What's the point of it all?
Keep him talking. Damn it. We can't fight him on our own. His power is second to the Emperor's.
I accomplished two things during my absence. First was the diminution of the Dark Council. Upon my death, my former enemies began warring amongst themselves, vying to claim my resources. Darth Jored's arrival escalated the chaos. My daughter is doomed, but she is an adequate distraction.
I can't call for reinforcements so long as that jamming field is active. But he'll annihilate anything less than an army.
You said your death accomplished two things. One was weakening the Council. What was the other?
Throwing the Sith into disorder was only the start. The rest of the Empire had to be prepared as well. That was the Eagle's purpose, to sow fright and hatred. All this while, my eradicators were growing. Now they are ready, and my victory is close at hand.
What victory?
What are you talking about?
The Eradicators will destroy the strongholds and apprentices of my enemies on the Council. So too will the Eradicators terrorize the Empire. Then I will return to the Council and lead the Empire into a new age, an epoch of terror.
Why do so many civilians have to die?
How better to mark the change of an era?
I see where this is going. He needs the Eradicators to make this work, but you have half the command codes.
Under my rule, all people will revel in fear and anger and degradation. These prizes will no longer be hoarded by Sith. But without both halves of the Eradicator codes, my weapons cannot be targeted. They will merely cause chaos.
Mere chaos isn't enough for you, is it?
No. The Eagle's death, your acquisition of his codes, has forced me to adapt. Without orders, the Eradicators will fire blindly. This serves neither of us. Enter your codes into the ship so the Eradicators can target my enemies. You will be rewarded. You will be my herald.
Last time you promised me something, you faked your own death.
I misunderstood your role. Consider what I can offer now. Power, wealth, a place in my vision. When I rule the Dark Council, Imperial intelligence will have a mandate uncompromised by Sith politics. Imagine a world where you could act with true authority and fear controls the populace. Together, we can create a stronger empire.
If I don't cooperate, what will you do?
If you refuse, you will die at my hand. The Eradicators will still reap untold destruction. Your sacrifice would mean nothing. I can be merciful. Take the time to consider your choice. Then we can begin the true work.
You haven't thought this through. Kill me and I take the codes with me.
A bold sentiment, but not a wise one. With your death, neither of us achieves our desire, and only I will be in a position to form a new plan.
You're wrong, Jadis. You won't be in a position to do anything.
Cypher, what are you doing?
Tell me, Agent, what possible advantage could you have over me? You're in my sanctuary, and my power is infinite.
This conversation is being recorded. Even if I'm dead, other people will know your plan.
Your friends at the ship. They're incapable of defeating me. Their lives are forfeit.
You can't kill all of them. Someone will escape, and they'll tell everyone your plot.
And then what? Let them tell the world that I live, and I will still prevail.
Darth Jorid and the others will put aside their differences. Ally against you.
You are a fool. You think my foes are capable of doing me harm, that I am so vulnerable?
You already admitted it. You destroyed the Dominator so you could go into hiding.
Arrogant creature. Suppose your allies scatter across the galaxy, spreading word of my existence. Suppose they rally an army. I am still capable of destroying you. You cannot withstand me.
Cypher, enough. He's going to kill you.
Are you so willing to die before you give up the codes? So confident of victory and death? Shall we test it?
Go ahead and kill me. You've already lost.
Yes, perhaps I have. It seems I should have been more cautious. Taken steps to stop you before you found the Eagle. But I acknowledge my error, and I am willing to bargain. You may have this ship. You may have the Eradicator codes. I will leave.
Once you're out, what do you intend to do?
What I have always done. You win, Agent. I shall withdraw from this battle before it becomes a war.
Did he really just...
Pursue no vendettas, and I shall pursue none. But I will rebuild, and years from now, I will return to the Dark Council.
Hurt anyone else, and I'll come looking for you.
I will remember this. Farewell. Know that few creatures survive earning my hatred and my respect.
The Master... he's gone. Is he?
We're free?
I've got confirmation. Jadis's shuttle is jumping out of the system. You just talked down a Lord of the Dark Council's cipher. I didn't think that was possible.
Don't ever say I don't have tact.
Entering command codes to deactivate the Eradicators. The threat has been neutralized.
We were a diplomat for many years, but that was impressive.
I can show you all sorts of tricks, if you'll let me.
Of course, we're always interested in learning more.
Jamming field is down. I'm broadcasting an all-clear signal to the Imperial Governors.
I believed in the Master's vision. He showed us his new world. Transformed us.
Jadis's experiments. We'll debrief them before we send them home.
The Master uplifted us. Saved us from the fire. Taught us everything.
Trust me, you're better off without him.
He showed us our strength. Some of us will still die for him.
Watch out!
Forgive us, Master. We failed your vision.
Jadis would have made everyone into slaves like them. It's a nightmarish thought. Some may reintegrate into society given the chance. Others...
I want them taken care of. No experiments. No indefinite confinement.
Of course. I'll make sure your request is heard. Still, we should be celebrating. It's a good day. Going down the list. The Empire saved, Darth Jadis on the run, an Imperial Dreadnought recovered, and the survivors rescued. I'd call this mission a success.
He's still out there, you know.
He's lost his followers, his resources, and his base of operations. He won't return for a while. The bridge is yours, Cypher. What do you say we set course for home?
Back to Drummond Cast, then.
This is Watcher 2 to Keeper. Jumping to light speed now. Prepare for our arrival.
This is Watcher 3 to Cypher 9. Sorry to cut your leave short, sir, but we need you. Terrorist mop-up is officially over, and the search for Lord Jadis is on hold. The war just took top priority.
Give me the situation.
You're being recalled to headquarters. Keeper will brief you on your next mission. Watcher 3 out.
Cypher 9, come in. I was just finishing the personnel security updates.
Something looks different. Don't tell me you made it more stark.
Something of the sort. After Darth Jadis's defeat and escape, there was a great deal of chaos. The Dark Council decided to make changes. My predecessor was elevated to Minister of Intelligence. That makes me the new Keeper of Operations Division.
That's quite a promotion. Shall we celebrate?
I owe this to you. But with the promotion comes certain responsibilities. I'm mounting an operation against the Republic Strategic Information Service. Our concern is this man, Arden Koth. SIS for nearly a decade, responsible for 16 covert projects in the Mid-Rim. The best spy master our enemies have.
I've run into the Republic a lot lately, but no espionage presence.
The SIS is our smaller, more flexible counterpart, supported by military and Jedi reserves. Arden Koth's division recently received a classified sanction from the Republic Senate. Complete autonomy. No restrictions on their activities. The Republic believes Arden Koth can win the war. We need to know what he has planned.
Do we have a full workup on him?
There's very little. Born on Dantooine, disappeared a while, then joined the SAS after the Treaty of Coruscant. Motivations unknown. Revenge seems probable. Since receiving his own division, he's instigated 3 slave rebellions, 1 corporate takeover, and, we believe, inspired 2 of our own generals to defect. Now imagine him with unlimited resources and no ethical restraints.
He's a danger to the Empire. What's our plan?
Imperial Intelligence has leaked documents to the SIS suggesting that one of our trustworthy agents is traumatized. At the same time, we sent anonymous messages to Arden Koth's team from an inside source. They now believe a cipher is ready to turn. I want you to make contact with the SIS and offer to be their spy inside the Empire.
The Republic will ask me to prove myself. What then?
Do what you have to, but do it discreetly. No official sanction. Your objective is to earn their confidence, uncover their plan, and eliminate Arden Koth himself. This is a long-term, deep-cover mission. I should warn you, this sort of work can be psychologically taxing. You will be isolated. Even most intelligence personnel won't know the truth.
Cleo and Vector, are you asking me to abandon my squad?
Your people don't have intelligence backgrounds, so the SIS won't suspect them, and you'll need their support. We've set up a meet with one of Arden Koth's men. You leave for Nar Shaddaa within the hour. Bury your loyalties for this one, Cypher. You'll know when the time comes to strike. Dismissed.
All right, we've got a problem. I told you about my ex-partners, how they decided to come after me? Well, that's fine. I can deal with that. What's not fine is when random freaking bounty hunters come after me because they smell a trend.
You do know that most people don't have this problem.
Yeah, I know. Guy's called the Menace. Never worked with him, never dated him, never heard of him. He's tracking me down. Apparently got a rep as a duelist. Probably wants to auction me to anyone with a grudge.
You went after Anspecial to auction her off.
I nabbed her because it was personal. The money was just cents. Look, we need to do something. Get a little aggressive. You in?
What exactly are you planning?
Don't know yet. Still looking at my options. But we're gonna handle this. Just watch.